Andiamo a vedere altri due casi oggi, dopo Pinna, che ci ha raccontato un progetto che è quello del Cammino Minare Santa Barbara, che sinceramente devo dirvi bravi. E passiamo a vedere due prodotti che sono leggermente diversi, ma che partono da questa logica della scoperta del territorio, ma la logica del walking trail. Adesso parliamo della Rota Vicentina, che è una proposta turistica, un cammino che Marta Cabral, che è la responsabile, ci racconterà del Portogallo, per passare dopo a parlare specificatamente sul progetto, anzi sulla realtà del cammino del Mont Saint-Michel. Ok? Marta, it's your time.
Okay. Yes, I can start?
Yes. Go ahead.
Yes, okay. So, hello everyone. I'm Marta from Rota Vicentina. So we can go to second slide with the little map, please, and the beach. I cannot see what you are seeing, but I hope it will work. So we are in the southwest of Portugal, as you can see in the red ball. It's a natural park, so a coastal natural park, which is very demanding management touristic destination, as you know very well. Especially if you have over 100 kilometers of wild coast. So far, this is what we have. And of course, in the European, or mainly Southern European reality, you cannot find that another example of such a long part of the coast still virgin and wild and with no construction. So we always knew that it would be a question of time until the market and tourism would explode. So we started working on a project around 15 years ago about sustainability, sustainable tourism, and networking, and how to really think about the future and make it work. So next, please. We can see the map of the Rota Vicentina hiking trail system. We started developing these in 2008 as a way to bring the awareness of the international market to the region for the right reasons, which the nature and all these local sustainable resources. And we provided mainly in the beginning 2 long-distance trails, the Green Line, which is the historical way connecting Santiago do Cacém to Sagres, over around 250 kilometers long. And then the Blue Line along the coast, called the Fisherman's Trail, which is in fact let's say the most well-known part of Rota Vicentina, the best seller, and the reason why somehow Rota Vicentina managed in such a short time to have so much attention. I would make a small pause now. If you can show our video that I sent you on YouTube, it's possible? And then we will go back to the presentation. It's a 5-minute video that will show you a bit about not only the trails, but our...
Play now.
Okay.
For some years I'm doing hiking, and for this year I thought I would like to go to Portugal.
It's special. A special place.
Olha por mim, cuida de mim, respira minha paz, terra tão frágil, gente tão audaz.
Foi crescer de uma forma saudável e com muito apego a isto.
Por muito humilde que fosse, por muito pouco que tivessem, partilhavam.
Isto aqui é o caminho que foi feito à mão para as pessoas que viviam aqui.
Vemos a serra, vemos o rio, vemos o mar, é lindo, é lindo.
Temos a sorte de sermos procurados pelas razões corretas.
It's one of the most perfect places to be. You look around and it's green, there's nature everywhere.
Magnifique.
Adembenemend Landschap, das ist heel mooi, ja.
Der ganze Weg ist angelegt wie ein Garten. Denkt, man träumt.
That's really special for us, to be, for a little moment, be part of that environment.
É isso que as pessoas apreciam, né? Ter este pedaço de mundo ainda mais intacto no seu estado natural.
Y muy salvaje, ¿no?
Y muchos cambios de paisaje también, sí. No es monótono.
Cómo está todo cuidado, la limpieza, es fantástico. Toute cette nature à l'état pur, en fait.
It's also really authentic. You see that it's still Portugal.
L'oceano è sempre
affascinante. You think you are, I don't say heaven, I don't know it, yeah, but it's really great.
Não me vais dominar, controlar o que há em mim, mas sem ti não sou e não quero ser.
Calma, tu vives no paraíso. Eu sei, tenho essa noção. Eu não quero é perder isso.
De onde se tira e não se põe, depressa se vê o fundo.
Deixe-se não estraga, deixe-se não estraga. Há coisas a estragar mais que eles.
Antes de haver os trilhos, saía para o campo a cavalo ou a pé e não se via ninguém nos caminhos. E agora encontra-se sempre alguém.
It's not just mid-season, but low season.
Queremos mostrar e partilhar com as pessoas, mas temos medo de toda a pressão turística. O ecossistema é frágil.
Dans quelques années, il risque d'y avoir de plus en plus de monde. Peut-être même beaucoup trop de monde.
We like to be tourists, but don't like to have too many tourists, and not that the nature suffers from tourism.
Everything is growing except nature, and nature isn't growing.
Pode ser uma ameaça se este turismo não estiver ligado à raiz dos locais.
Manter o equilíbrio desta oferta assim. Porque, por enquanto, os turistas o que gostam é a qualidade, não é a quantidade.
Que as pessoas que vêm também se apaixonem por este cantinho e também o preservem o mais possível.
E tentar conhecer porque é que nós cá estamos há tantos anos, há tantas gerações e porque é que continuamos cá.
Como é que eu vendo, como é que o restaurante vende, como é que o padeiro faz, como é que o peixeiro anda. Isto é um círculo.
The local economy is getting stronger.
E se a economia local estiver forte, a paisagem vai estar mais forte e mais protegida.
Portanto, as gerações vindouras vão ter, de uma forma ou de outra, lidar com isso. E se têm que lidar com isso, que lidem da melhor forma e que tirem proveito próprio disso.
Consciousness and true education is the way forward.
Look around and see.
It's not a luxury going outside. It's a need, as important as drinking and eating.
Heaven is right here.
Okay, back to me?
Yes, sir.
Yes? Okay. So as you can see, we have a lot to talk about, but 90-something% of the people are talking about the coast and the Fisherman's Trail. And the coast, and it's a big challenge to develop a region that it's not only the coast. The coast is very limited in what the pressure is concerned, and we always knew that we needed to spread the people a bit more inland, and this is what the video and everything that we are doing now talks about. So we can move to the next slide. Because I would like to explain that we are a private association, a non-profit association, and we are responsible for the whole management of the project, from the selection and maintenance and implementation of the trails, but also the connection with the community, with the local touristic offer and the tour operators and all the commercialization process. We follow promotion and of course always to be sure that not only the project is sustainable but the region itself. So we invest a lot in this sustainability model. Moving on to the next slide, where we see the label, the Leading Quality Trail label, because this is something very important. Portugal is not a typical place for hiking. We don't hike ourselves. We don't have big mountains, so we don't have that in our culture. So it was very important to make an investment in very high quality standards in order to be able to reach the most demanding markets and hikers, and so far it's really happening. So next slide, please. We have been featured in major media coverage worldwide, and always putting Rota Vicentina on a very high level, one of the best in Europe and in the world. And this, of course, brought big attention and big responsibility on us. What we have been doing, and we can move on to the next slide, please, is to put together a big partnership of both private and public entities. So we have, as a private association, we have nowadays 200 partner businesses that they include accommodations, restaurants, transports, tour operators from several countries, Italy included. And also we have a council with several private and public entities, and we meet this council of 50 entities twice a year to discuss problems that are not exactly Rota Vicentina issues. They are in fact the region issues that we feel the need to bring up to a general discussion, because you know, sometimes the entities, not one single entity is responsible for the problems. Each one says the other one is responsible, and sometimes it's good to have someone putting everyone together and really discussing what matters to match the quality needs of the project. Moving on to the next slide, we did last year a very strong and demanding environmental, social and economic impact study. So we have some good ideas now about the impact of the project in the region. I will not talk to you about the environmental part, although it's quite interesting and quite positive. I will just show you 4 slides about the social and economic impact. So next one, please. We have reached a number of around 23,000 hikers per year. But in average, each hiker stays over 5 days. So this means 130, I think, yes, hiking days in the whole Rota Vicentina. And this graphic shows you how much we can, through Rota Vicentina, make a very good balance with the high season, which is exactly the low season of hiking trails. So our summer is low season for hiking, and then you have the shoulder season, which is our high seasons, so springtime and autumn. And I can tell you that the winter time is growing and will grow for sure within the next years. So next slide, please. We also have a very good idea nowadays of the sections that are more used. So we have automatic counters in several sections. And of course, as you can see, the red part is the most used, so the Fisherman's Trail. But we are very happy to understand that the rest is growing. So it's very important to keep an eye on what's going on and how this relation keeps evolving in the next months and years. The next slide shows us the total spending of hikers in the region, reaching around 15 million euros. And the following slide tells us how much of this is the added value. So 56% of these 15 million is money that stays in the region. And this is where we are very focused on, to be sure that not only the total spending will grow, but mainly that people are spending in the local resources. And this is the most important thing. So local services, local products, local production is what we need to increase and make this 56% higher. So moving on, these four main goals would somehow or did somehow establish the new strategy for the project since 2 years from now, where we wanted to increase the average stay per accommodation, because when you are working with long distance trail, in average people don't stay more than one night per accommodation, and commercially and even environmentally this is not the best solution. So we wanted to increase this, and this is when we started also working on these circular routes, these loop trails that allow people to stay more than one night in each accommodation and still have a second day hike that they can enjoy. And also to work on spreading the people along the region that I told you about. So not only along the year, but also along the region. So increasing how much the rest, apart from the coast, is attractive for tourism. The third goal is to be sure that we know how the project is evolving, and so these studies are very important to make us aware of the impact of the project all the time. And finally, we are working very strong now in the most immaterial part of the region, which would be the local identity, and how much this can contribute to exactly increase this 56% of the interest of the tourism market in the local resources, economically speaking. So moving on to the next slide, we have an introduction, what's new for 2018. And the next slide shows you three main areas for Rota Vicentina: walking, cycling, and activities. Yes, you are following
yes,
my...
Yes.
Yes, okay. So what we decided going after these goals and this strategy was to move on and to offer not only the hiking trail system, but also cycling. Mainly mountain biking, in the sense that with these mountain biking trails, people can go further back inland and back. And what we did was to establish, and we can move on to the next slide. The next slide shows you a bit the increment of the hiking trails that is reaching now 750 kilometers. And you can see that mainly the orange, these loop trails, is our biggest investment. But the following slide with the cycling title shows you how we organized in this first phase this mountain biking trail system, and how people are invited to stay in the interior villages. And the next two slides talk to you about the activities, and this is very important because this is exactly one of the areas where you can increase the economic value for the local economy, and we are somehow creating two main areas, which one would be the typical nature active tourism, surf, horseback riding, and we can even include yoga and all these kind of things. And then a second type of activities, the second slide, that is exactly about the culture and the local community. And here we are working very hard, and the next following 2 years we will work more and more with this area, is to create experiences between the tourists and the local communities, the local people, concerning several issues, and also the local products and artifacts and gastronomy and so on. And for now, that's it. You can just fast forward the next few slides. It's just a few pictures to show you some landscapes.
Okay.
And that's it. Thank you very much for your attention.
Ok. Muito obrigado, Marta.
Obrigado.
Obrigado. Thank you very much for your intervention, etc. And thank you. And I call you after, ok?
Ok.
Bye bye, obrigado.
Tourism Call to Action, 7 incontri formativi per la crescita turistica della destinazione Sardegna. Iscriviti su www.aeroportodiolbia.it.